Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. How many times have you heard, give your problems to God? Use your spiritual weapons as protection, as guidance. If you give up your anxiety and your problems, you can go on to live a peaceful, joyful, productive day. Worry and doubt causes us to carry heavy burdens, and we've been directed to give them up, to release them, to let them go, to give them up to God. They're not ours to carry. And yet we think we have to, we must, it's ours, it's the responsible thing, the logical thing. I have to. What if it was easy to just give it up, let it go, and practice that over and over and over? If you're not a religious person, you can still understand that there is a spiritual side of you. Religion has nothing to do with you being a divine spiritual entity living in a physical body. I'm going to read from one of Bob Proctor's favorite books, The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward. Chapter 9 is about touching lightly. And Thomas Troward says, what is our point of support? Is it in ourselves or outside us? Are we self-poised, or does our balance depend on something external? According to the actual belief in which our answer to these questions is embodied, so will our lives be. In everything, there are two parts, the essential and the incidental. That which is the nucleus and raison d'etre of the whole thing, and that which gathers round this nucleus and takes form from it. The true knowledge always consists in distinguishing these two from each other, and error always consists in misplacing them. There is a cause and effect. We live in a world of cause and effect. Everything that we do causes an effect. So we are the cause and the effect of everything that we experience in our lives. If you allow the outside, the circumstances, the conditions, to be the raison d'etre, the reason, that becomes the essential. We want it to be the incidental in order to change the circumstance. We have to be the center, and we have to be more in control, not of our world, but of ourselves, our reactions. Thomas Troward says, in all our affairs, there are two factors, ourselves and the matter to be dealt with. And since for us, the nature of anything is always determined by our thought of it, it is entirely a question of our belief which of these two factors shall be the essential and which the accessory. Whichever we regard as the essential, the other at once becomes the incidental. The incidental can never be absent. For any sort of action to take place, there must be some conditions under which the activity passes out into visible results. But the same sort of activity may occur under a variety of different conditions and may thus produce very different visible results. I'm going to say that line again because this is vital that we understand it. The incidental, what's going on outside you, what's around you, what's holding your attention, the circumstances, the conditions, the incidental can never be absent. For any sort of action to take place, there must be some conditions under which the activity passes out into visible results. But the same sort of activity may occur under a variety of different conditions and may thus produce very different results. So are you looking at a mistake as a fatal failure in your life? Or are you looking at it as a redirection? Maybe something that you begged for, pleaded for, asked for, prayed for, and didn't receive. Maybe it was not meant for you. Maybe it is not receiving it is protecting you from something. Or maybe it's just not here yet because you've been so worried and pleading and begging and looking at the lack of it that it can't come into your life because you're not in vibration. You don't believe it. You don't have faith that it's coming. You don't allow it. You don't let go of the it's not here yet in order to experience the feeling as if, which will allow what you want to come into your life. The same sort of activity may occur under a variety of different conditions and may thus produce very different visible results. So in every matter, we shall always find an essential or energizing factor and the incidental factor which derives its quality from the nature of the energy. The incidental factor derives its quality from the nature of the energy. The problem is the incident. Don't turn it into the essential, otherwise the problem takes over. You want to control deciding what you really want and spending more time believing that it's on its way and not worrying about the how, not stressing, not being so anxious about when it's coming. Pretend that it's just around the corner and you need to just continue taking one more step. And as you take one more step, the path opens up. This can be done in any aspect of your life where you can relax and let the situation resolve itself. You find a solution when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you give the problem up to God, when you don't wallow in the energy of the problem. Thomas Troward says, we can never escape from having to select our essential and our incidental factor. And whichever we select as the essential, we thereby place the other in the position of the incidental. If then we make the mistake of reversing the true position and suppose that the energizing force comes from the merely accessory circumstances, then we make them our point of support and lean upon them and stand or fall with them accordingly. So we come into a condition of weakness and obsequious waiting on all sorts of external influences which is the very reverse of that strength, wisdom, and opulence, which are the only meaning of liberty. Don't focus on the lack and limitation. Don't let yourself be subservient. The problem isn't the condition, the circumstance. Don't turn it into the essential. Allow yourself to make a decision. You're going after what you really want, and you're allowing it to become your experience, your life. Lean on your faith. Troward says, but if we would ask ourselves the common sense question, where can the center of a man's life be except in himself? We shall see that in all which pertains to us, the energizing center must be in ourselves. We can never get away from ourselves as the center of our own universe. And the sooner we clearly understand this, the better. There is really no energy in our universe but what emanates from ourselves in the first instance. And the power which appears to reside in our surroundings is derived entirely from our own mind. Everything is energy. Your words, your speech, the words that you say, the thoughts that you think, everything is energy. When you control what is inside of you, then the energy that is emanating from you can attract better circumstances, more beautiful experiences, better people. When you focus on being a better person, you hang around with better people, you attract better into your life. Bob Proctor always said, better is a good word. You want your life to be better? You have to be better. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Don't worry about other people and their actions. The universe takes care of everything. You focus on you, and you will experience a better life. What emanates from ourselves is what's drawing to us our experience, good, bad, indifferent. That's why I say all the time, change your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions so that your results can change. Don't worry about anybody else. You just focus on you. Troward says, if once we realize this and consider that the life which flows into us from the universal life principle is at every moment new life, entirely undifferentiated to any particular purpose besides that of supporting our own individuality, and that it is therefore ours to externalize in any form we will, then we find that this manifestation of the eternal life principle in ourselves is the standpoint from which we can control our surroundings. We must lean firmly on the central point of our own being and not on anything else. Don't worry about what other people are doing or saying. Everybody has an opinion. Let them. You direct the flow of spiritual energy that is constantly flowing to and through you. Direct it to what you want. Direct it to what you prefer. There is new life flowing to and through you at this very moment. Use it in any way you want. Use it for good. Use it for blessing. Use it for abundance. We must lean firmly on the central point of our own being and not on anything else outside of us. Our mistake is in taking our surroundings too seriously. Troward says, too much au grand sérieux. We should touch things more lightly. As soon as we feel that their weight impedes our free handling of them, the outside circumstances are mastering us and not we them. Don't take life so seriously. Be calm, confident, loving, gentle. Light handling does not mean weak handling. On the contrary, lightness of touch is incompatible with a weak grasp of the instrument, which implies that the weight of the tool is excessive relatively to the force that seeks to guide it. Think of a surgeon using a tool to perform brain surgery. He's not going in there like a butcher. He is very lightly, deliberately handling a very delicate tool. Troward gives the example of Grinling Gibbons, who was a wood carver who lived from 1720, or he was the wood carver in Windsor Castle. Troward wrote this piece in 1920, and he said, only in the hands of a Grinling Gibbons that the carving tool can create miracles of aerial lightness from the solid wood. The light yet firm touch tells not of weakness, but of power held in reserve. And if we realize our own out-and-out spiritual nature, we know that behind any measure of power we may put forth, there is a whole reserve of the infinite to back us up. There are infinite levels of frequencies. What kind of energy are you sending out into the universe? The light, beautiful faith, knowing that what you want is peace and joy and love. You can't hold anger, resentment, and hatred in your heart. Troward says, as we come to know this, we begin to handle things lightly, playing with them as a juggler does with his flying knives, which cannot make the slightest movement other than he has assigned to them. For we begin to see that our control over things is part of the necessary order of the universe. The disorder we have met with in the past has resulted precisely from our never having attempted consciously to introduce this element of our personal control as part of the system. This doesn't mean controlling the circumstances around you. It means controlling your reactions, your pausing and responding or not responding at all. You're filling yourself up with divine light and love and allowing the Spirit to work through you, directing your thoughts to what you want, feeling blessed, joyful, divinely protected, filled with divine love, and then sending blessings out into the world, not only to your loved ones and people that you like, but to people who bother you. Send blessings to them to have their best day, and you have your best day. that will change your heart. That will change what comes into your life experience. Because everything is energy. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are energetic. You cannot hold hatred in your heart or doubt and worry and anxiety and expect peace and love and joy. You can't go in two directions at the same time. Where are you directing your energy? We create the order in our own life. Don't worry about what other people are thinking, saying, and doing. You control you. And then your life becomes better and better and better, more calm, more peaceful, more loving, more good. You experience more purpose. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. You have thoughts of other people that are yours. They may be true based on your interaction with that person, but other people don't have that opinion. Everyone experiences their life from the center of their own universe, from their own thoughts, feelings, and actions. You be the center of your universe and bring in God, Spirit, Jesus, Holy Spirit, guardian angels, universal mind, whatever you tap into, source energy. Use that to guide your purpose, guide your thoughts and feelings. Troward says, of course, I speak of the whole man, the whole person, and not merely of that part of him which Walt Whitman says is contained between his hat and his boots, not your physical body. The whole person is an infinitude, spirit, intellect, and physical body. And the visible portion of him is the instrument through which he looks out upon and enjoys all that belongs to him, his own kingdom of the infinite. And when he learns that this is the meaning of his conscious individuality, he sees how it is that he is infinite and that he is one with infinite mind, which is the most inner core of the universe. Having thus reached the true center of his own being, he can never give this central place to anything else, but will realize that relatively to this, all other things are in the position of the incidental and the accessory. And growing daily in this knowledge, he will learn so to handle all things lightly yet firmly, that grief, fear, and error will have less and less space in his world, until at last sorrow and sighing shall flee away, and everlasting joy shall take their place. We may have taken only a few steps on the way as yet, but they are in the right direction. And what we have to do now is to go on, to keep going. Everything we see on the outside is a reflection of what is going on the inside. As you continue to study, to pray, to reflect, to change your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, you notice you become more increasingly aware of the energy that you're putting out as the energy that's coming back to you. And think about the words that you use. God is omnipotent. He's omnipresent. That means he is in you. He's in me. He is in everyone. He is in your enemy. Look for the good. Fill yourself with divine joy, faith, ease, flow, love, and think of the words that you're saying. I am. I am. God said, I am that I am. Be careful how you use the words I am, because that's the direction that your life is going in. When you say, I am tired and miserable, I am so sick and tired, I am so angry, you are triggering those thoughts, feelings, and actions, and that's what continues to be reflected back in your life. Say, I am happy, I am joyful, I am becoming better and better every day. I am allowing peace in my heart. I am letting people do what they want because I am becoming calm. I am calm. I am healthy. I am happy. I am joyful. I am. What you say you are is what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract the energy, the spirit that you are in. New life is continually flowing to and through you to use in any way you want. Take the words of what you desire and write them out. Focus on them. Remind yourself everything is a matter of growth. Everything must come through the clarity of thought, the warmth of your personality, the good that you do, and whatever you desire, allow it to be for the highest good of all. Write out what you want, focus on it. Forget about what's going on in the outside world. Put on your armor, take up the weapons of peace, love, joy, purpose, and go out into the world having the best day of your life. Create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Think about touching lightly today. Let others do what they do. You focus on you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you back here on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Thank you.